The most stupid things that have ever been done by people in Geometry Dash. You yourself might once have done something silly like spamming tens of comments on levels for no reason, but that is nothing in comparison to these 69 ridiculous things done by other players, which most of the times are pretty funny to see happen. These will be ranked into 4 different categories, each category surpassing the previous one every time. Enjoy the video. Imagine a level made out of just a single type of object. This is exactly what a player named Silo did. He made a level called Portal, which almost only uses portals in the level and still managed to get it rated, which is why it's the first thing on the list. Our next one is also a level, made by YouTuber/creator Sputniks. He decided to work on a code which would make it possible for multiple people to enter a level. After 2 months it was finally finished, and 14,000 people placed their object in the level. The end result was quite messy. Something a little more stupid is the Spike is over there level. This is a level created by Brent Silver and he recorded his own soundtrack for it, which basically was just him trying to trick you into jumping over obstacles that don't even exist. The level only has one real obstacle, a spike at the very end of the level, so yeah, I wouldn't recommend playing this level for its gameplay. Speedruns are very general in every game, except for Geometry Dash apparently. The main type of speedrun consists out of you needing to beat all the main levels as quickly as possible. The problem is that they aren't that hard to beat in a row, so all these players have runs where they beat everything in a row, meaning that it all comes down to being the fastest in going to the next level. Scroll clicking is a clicking method where all you need to do is scroll the middle mouse button. This has been done to pass some levels that otherwise would be humanly impossible. It's not that useless, but hey, we're just at the start of the list yet. Just when I finished my previous video about the hardest things in the game, Alpha Helix made another achievement in a rather silly fashion. He beat the extreme demon Misty Mountains, which is a great achievement in itself, but he also solved the Rubik's Cube while beating it, which is insane and ridiculous at the same time. Or what about Kai Guy playing the level Slaughterhouse for 10 hours straight? From the morning to late in the evening, he non-stop played it, and I wonder if he still is mentally fine. Luckily this can't be as bad as some of the stuff I found that I'll show you very soon. Player D Lemon Bread might be one of the luckiest players on Earth. He achieved the 69696969th ID in the game, and decided to reveal his tactic on Reddit. After planning to get this ID for a couple of days, he uploaded 5 levels at around the same time, and hey, it worked. The next one is a little general, since it's about the creation of several levels. Levels that you basically cannot see. Invisible Clubstep and Deadlock, for example, were made by player Caramel and an unknown user, and they both got rated, which is pretty questionable, since it literally takes 10 seconds to recreate these. Previously in the video, I said that there were way more mentally draining things done than what Kai Guy did on Slaughterhouse. Well, this is one of them. Once upon a time, player Danceman thought of an idea to create 10 feature-worthy levels in just 7 days. He spent like 10 hours a day just on the creating aspect of the game, and pulled it off after a lot of pain. Geometry Dash is a game with multiple game modes that have to pass certain obstacles, the most famous obstacle being the spike, brutally killing you when hitting it. King Samelot, however, became the spike with a certain texture pack for no reason except for the fun of it. On the 9th of August 2021, hundreds of thousands of levels were deleted from the game by RobTop, and lots of people were unhappy as could be expected. A while later everything got fixed, but why this happened was a true mystery. Lord Vadercraft is a professional player, having beaten the top 6 demon Firework and a couple other extreme demons. Mayhem was one of them, and he got the task to verify the level Funky Town from Arctic GMD. However, the stupid thing was that Arctic GMD verified the level earlier than Lord Vadercraft, making it kind of useless for Lord Vadercraft to also verify it. To finalize the starter category, we're going to finish it off with the following 3 things revolving around the level Stereo Madness, the first level in GD. Tricipital has been in it 200 times, but if this sounds a lot, let's move on to the next person. Gaiden Hertuni spent 24 hours in the span of 10 days to defeat this beast of a level 1000 times, but it can technically get even worse. Even though YouTuber Math Genius only completed it 500 times, his goal was to beat Stereo Madness 10,000 times, which would be the pinnacle of torture. Luckily, he quit after 7 days. Let's move on to the next category, the Tiny Brook category, where I explain stuff that is pretty random, but nothing close to the endgame stuff. Just like Math Genius, Colin is also a YouTuber. He makes videos about anything interesting in the game really. One of the things he did was restarting his PC every time he died. But since this wasn't very useless as you can see, it places low on the list. Something a little more obscure, stupidish is Minerbur's playtime. In total, he has played this game for almost 7 years, which he said he did by just keeping his game open for almost his entire career. Bloodbath is an extreme demon, played by millions of people. It in fact is so popular that one person decided to do something original involving this level, which isn't all that stupid, but my main question when I saw this was why. His goal was to draw part of Bloodbath every day until the artwork was finished, which is pretty cool I guess. But back to Colin, since he did one other thing that belonged on this list, which I found a little more stupid than his previous entry. He programmed a bot that would take a lot of entries from the daily chat, which for if you don't know is infamous for the low IQ that resides there, and convert it to AI generated messages. The messages that came up were as expected not that smart to say the least. 3.141592 are the first couple of digits of pi, a number derived from a diameter. And since Geometry Dash has the word geometry in it, people just couldn't get this out of their heads. So one person decided to write an essay about Geometry Dash, focusing on just the geometry of it, pi specifically. Even though it's meant to be a joke, it still is a little unusual. However, one of the greatest tool-assisted speedruns has just been uploaded. Let's take a look at it. With the use of speed hacks and a couple other tools, Synactive got 2008 clicks on the level Retray. Blyco09 is a pretty decent player, and eventually he got bored from playing easy levels, so he went to an extreme demon called Aku, and one number he saw caught his attention. The amount of likes on this level was 69,419, so like the primal that was inside him, he pressed the like button to get one of the most beautiful achievements ever gotten by anyone. The opposite from beautiful is sad, which is exactly the emotion that could describe Nyoka GD's feelings. Like you will see very soon, he likes the creating aspect of the game more than the playing aspect, since when looking at the amount of levels he uploaded, it becomes very clear. He uploaded 711 of them, one called When You Have Nothing to Do. Rest in peace. The most popular YouTuber I'll mention today is EVW. He sung all the main level songs with his voice, and there's a clip of it. One of his better videos in my opinion. Something that is actually pretty stupid is the game itself. Well, sort of. When searching Geometry Dash in the Google search bar, the first result is geometrydash.io, which is rather weird since this isn't the actual version of the game. The actual version is only ranked number 3 in terms of search results. Or what about a map made by Reddit user Bunked Was Taken? He spent hours upon hours to create a map of America, but not just some simple map. A map about the population density per state, with the population density being ranked with Geometry Dash difficulty phases. One of the main GD levels that EVW has sung is Blast Processing. Someone called Alias decided to copy the entire level and paste it a couple of times, until there were 800,000 objects inside the level. The most impressive thing about this whole thing is the fact that this guy was able to run this pretty smoothly. Titled Geometry Dash Free Coins Secret Hack is a video made by The Barney. It shows high quality footage of him just getting fake coins, which normally wouldn't be that big of a deal, since there are hundreds of videos like this with just a couple of views. Well, this video has 170,000, trolling more than 100,000 people into thinking this was the way to get a lot of coins in GD, and most people weren't that happy when they realized. GD's most stupid achievement is probably destroying 200 icons on the home screen. You can do this by clicking on them and it's pretty useless. Xtrap Nation took this a little further by clicking 1000 of them for no reason. And just for the sake of it, I had to mention Santa Jensen. He said he killed 60,000 of them, and if this is actually real, it would for sure get the number 5 spot on this list. But since we cannot confirm, I decided to put it next to Xtrap Nation as achievement. An achievement that instead of stupid is really impressive though, is Zoinka's Spook Cubed verification. He however made one big mistake. He used the hack called Show Hitboxes on Death, which got banned because of the player being able to see what they died to. For this reason his verification wasn't accepted and he had to rebeat it. One of the most popular hacks in GD are speed hacks, in which you can slow the game down or speed it up. Aeon Air slowed his game down 2000 times to beat both Demon's Cataclysm and Deadlocked, but Speedy Muffin had it even worse. He dethroned Aeon Air by slowing the game 10,000 times, letting him beat Stereo Mantis in just 2 hours. The biggest bro moment on here is definitely what happened to Korn, also known as the most object heavy level in the game. Little do most people know this once got raided by Ruptop, but 2 minutes after the raid, Ruptop changed his mind and immediately unraided it. As you might know by now, I talk about a lot of speedruns on this channel, ranging from pretty standard ones to very stupid runs. The most useless speedrun ever done though is probably on the level Master Game, a minigame in GD that normally would take around 7 minutes of gameplay to defeat. However, there's a code that straight up teleports you to the final part of the level, and with a glitch that allows you to stay on the water, this is what the world record on Master Game looks like. Another big bro moment is this run on Thanatophobia, an extreme demon. Pectama already had quite some progress on it, so one day when he got back to the level, he decided to start with a practice run. Little did he know, he would pass the entire level after dying at 1%. The Master Game speedrun in my opinion isn't the stupidest speedrun out there. The map pack speedrun is. Almost. All the map packs contain in total 195 levels, and these levels are some of the worst levels out there gameplay wise, and are everything but fun to play. This still didn't stop MP3141 to beat all the map packs there are in 23 hours total. What a pain he must have suffered. Player Zoro is a skilled programmer. With these coding skills, the player decided to write a program that made it so you could easily write these symbols in the game, which normally wasn't supposed to happen before. Still, all the time spent was wasted, since when these symbols are used, you can't upload any levels. We now rank up in categories again, ranking from the tiny bro category to the bro category, and this is where stuff starts to get real. The last EVW entry on this list is him beating jump tradition levels with a carrot. Yeah. The number 384 hardest rated level in the game is called Allegiance. User Applet Right beat the entire level but still didn't beat it, since he put his start position 2% in the automatic part of the level to skip it. The next one is so stupidly funny I just had to mention it. It is about the level Blessed Processing again, but instead of Boltman singing it, it's about death. Rosa tried to die as many times as possible in this level, claiming the title of having died the most amount of times in a single blast processing run, dying 136 times in total, and I dare you guys to beat it. 69,420 likes were given out on Aku, and this inspired player FNO so much that he decided to recreate this number in attempts on the level Back on Track. Caramel is a normal player with rated levels that sparked some controversy, since some people didn't think they should be rated. Because of this, he sort of has become a meme in the community, and one of these things were speedruns related to him. The Caramel Block speedrun, where people would block this guy as fast as they possibly could, and there was a lot of competition. So much that eventually Caramel friend request speedruns appeared on YouTube, which was just as stupid. The level Trip is a level which showcases all sorts of decorated triple spikes, and it's a nice collab made by the player Michigan. Danceman decided to take it a step further by decorating his triple spike for 10 hours straight without any breaks. Just 3 spikes next to each other. This was the end result. Even worse than the 711 levels made by NeoCatGD are the 1900 levels made by TLNDA. There's one peculiar thing about this account though. He made a bot that every 20 minutes uploads one level on his account, so most of these levels aren't even made by him. When Mr. Beast started the word trend by saying PewDiePie lots of times, the GD community wanted to take over. By saying deadlocked 1000 times, Silvera took this random world record for themselves. Still, it can get even worse. Math Genius said jump tradish 10,000 times in one go, and this took him 6 hours of his time. IMDb is a website specifically made for rating movies. Well, that's what I thought. Apparently, games can be rated there too, and Jump Tradish was one of them. It has been judged on certain topics like drugs and alcohol, and apparently 2 people found there to be severe usage of drugs in this cube game. A little less severe is Rock Moten, a level crafted by Mistake 333333. For some unknown reason, it garnered a lot of attention, especially by famous creators. The comments on it were very praising, telling him it's the best level they have ever seen, but once you actually see a level, you probably get why this is on the list. Bullying is bad, but even though it's bad, lots of people still do it. It's pretty sad. There's one occasion though where it is acceptable. By buying actual Jump Tradish t-shirt merch, your bullying chance will rise by 300%, and even though it's not something done by a specific person, I still had to mention it. Our next useless thing is actually done by me. For some reason, I decided it was a good idea to spend 10 hours straight playing recent levels, and even though I did find some good stuff, it was far from worth it. To top the huge amount of levels created by users off, we have to talk about the amount this user uploaded. His now deleted account had amassed almost 10,000 levels in total, which would break GD. It still was just 0.01% of all the uploaded levels. Right now, the longest verified level is Desert Bus by Zeganhenny, but there are a couple longer levels that haven't been verified yet. One of them is a very boring 24-hour level with a record of 2% on it. It already took 30 minutes to get to this percentage, so this verification probably will never happen. Geometry Dash can be streamed on multiple platforms, Twitch, YouTube and some others. One platform was a little questionable though. A certain person was playing Geometry Dash on a platform I'm not allowed to mention on YouTube, but you can probably guess what it is. In 2022, a player that went by the name of SWF Caps Lock got exposed for cheating. He was a long-time star grinder that was pretty well respected, so it was sad to see him go like this. However, one thing seemed very random. On the level Capitalism, a 6-star harder level which is not that hard to do, he added more than 10,000 attempts, which is really odd and very useless. Or what about the only Geometry Dash interview that has ever been done? This was done on Chris Credible, a decently famous Geometry Dasher that had to share his experience with his fame. Sadly, the announcer got the game wrong and instead said Geometry Challenge.
Usually Geometry Challenge.
Alright, time to get into the final most useless category of all time, the Omega Bra category. A dumb phone is a phone that basically has no functions. You can play Snake on it, call, text, and that's basically it. However, JohnZoid74 managed to install Geometry Dash on it, and it looked very fun to play like this. You, watching this video, might have beaten all the 21 main levels normally, but have you done it upside down in reverse? Probably not. ETM Games did this for no reason other than to drain his brain cells, and he even did Deadlocked. Cyclic is a Geometry Dash player that was famous back in the day for publishing the level Sonic Wave. This later got removed from his account and raided on L Sonics' account because of hacking scandals. Cyclic got so mad about these hacking accusations that he decided to make every level of his free, leading to these levels getting unrated. There is only one way to fly into the air besides the ship game mode. Holding a dash orb is this way. For some weird reason, YouTuber Crispy made a level with spikes and one dash orb where you need to hold it for 6 hours, 30 minutes and 32 seconds, and he verified it. The level Pinos, a demon, got verified and lots of people praised the decoration, saying it had to be rated. And sure enough, Robtable would rate it soon after. A couple days later, however, this got unrated because of the name. You see, the word Pinos means pee-pee in Spanish, so yeah, this would have still been featured if he named it anything else. On numero 64, we got something that has like no purpose in any way. Flyleaf decided to put a lot of work into changing a spacebar keybind to the enter keybind, to be the first victor of Sonic Wave with the enter key. This is still pretty harmless, unlike what Irelia did. He set his mouse on fire while playing Sonic Wave, and he even unlisted the video, so he didn't even get any sort of clout for it. He didn't get harmed or get any permanent injuries. What is permanent, however, are tattoos. And oh boy, I'm just going to let the picture speak for themselves what this girl did to herself. The next one was very close to the tattoo one, but both Packneck and Raiden237 have jumped more than 1 billion times in Geometry Dash. They did this by almost every day performing a bug where you just need to hold. What did they get from all these jumps? You guessed it, nothing. From here, we're getting to some actual ridiculously stupid things, since there are only 2 things left. The first one is someone that was willing to pay more than $1,000 for the level Limbo, aka the hardest memory level in the entire game. It wasn't mentioned who it was, but this was the worst financial decision for him if Mindcap, the host of Limbo, would have accepted. Our final entry is this beautiful Fiverr gig by Enki Dev. He will create a Geometry Dash for you for the cheap price of just $300. I hope you enjoyed, and for every subscriber I will sniff 10 farts. Yo.